Next news. Breaking news.
A retired Air Force Major General who commanded the most secretive research laboratory in American history just vanished into thin air. Neil McCasland, the man who ran Wright-Patterson Air Force Base classified programs, the exact location where Roswell crash debris was reportedly shipped, disappeared from Albuquerque on February 27th. Now the FBI is involved. This happens right as President Trump prepares to declassify UFO files, right as Lara Trump confirms the president has a speech ready about extraterrestrial life, and right as we strike Iran. Coincidence? The deep state doesn't believe in coincidences, and neither should you. And here's why this matters to every single American. If General McCasland was silenced, it means there are forces within our own government willing to disappear decorated military officers to protect secrets they've kept from you for decades. No, this is not a conspiracy theory anymore. President Trump himself sat in the Oval Office with fighter pilots who described spherical craft outmaneuvering our fastest jets. Congressman Burchett says if Trump releases what he's seen in the classified briefings, quote, we'd realize we're one grain of sand in 100 million beaches. Your tax dollars, 4.4 billion of them, flowed through McCasland's laboratory for research into advanced propulsion, directed energy weapons, and aerospace systems the public knows nothing about. The establishment kept you in the dark while insiders got rich off technology that could transform human civilization. President Trump promised to drain the swamp and expose the truth. Now a key witness to that truth is missing, and the timing couldn't be more suspicious. And speaking of powerful people making moves they don't want you to see, we need to talk about a developing story out of Washington that connects directly to our national security. We're tracking a breaking situation the legacy media doesn't want you to see. As Iran continues destabilizing the Middle East and threatening American interests, the federal government just made a strategic move that could reshape our entire security posture. Now here's a truth they don't want you to understand. Our nuclear submarines, our warheads, our next generation power grid, our aircraft carriers, all of it depend on uranium. And right now, America's most imports almost every single pound of it from foreign sources, many of them hostile to our own interests. See, this is not just about energy independence, my friends. This is about survival. Because a nation that cannot power its own military is a nation at the mercy of its enemies. That's why smart investors are looking at companies like Atomic Minerals trading as ATMMF in the United States and ATOM in Canada. When national security becomes the priority, domestic uranium production becomes essential. So do your own research and take a look at the full briefing that's been prepared for you. It's linked below. But understand this. The landscape is shifting, and those paying attention are positioning themselves right now. Now let's get back to this bombshell story that the mainstream media does not want you connecting the dots on. Yes, here's what the corporate media won't tell you. This is the third scientist connected to classified programs to go missing in just 3 months. Tom DeLonge, in emails to John Podesta that WikiLeaks exposed, wrote that General McCasland personally helped assemble his UFO advisory team. DeLonge said McCasland was, quote, in charge of that exact laboratory where Roswell debris was taken. Stephen Greer predicted last September that Trump would be forced to confront this issue, whether he wanted to or not. Now let's look exactly at what insiders are saying. Ashton Forbes, one of my favorite follows on X, he says, this has been bothering me all day. The Air Force figures out teleportation in the 2000s, possibly from reverse engineered UFOs, and suddenly a retired major of the AFRL goes missing as we strike Iran. Very sus. We'll discuss tonight. We do have Ashton Forbes. We're going to present them to you in just a moment. But he was quote tweeting the Daily Mail. Mysterious disappearance of UFO-linked Air Force general sparks nationwide search. Now, speculation about teleportation tech sets up our next source who connects McCasland directly to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, the epicenter of UFO reverse engineering rumors. Overclassified, the timing too perfect to ignore. Retired Major General Neil McCasland, former commander of the Air Force Research Laboratory, the AFRL, at Wright-Patterson, the very place tied to decades of UFO reverse engineering rumors, vanishes from Albuquerque right as the U.S. strikes Iran. Here's an image of the Major General who is now gone missing. So obviously if you see him, notify somebody. Now we have the full picture. This is not a missing, just any missing person. This is the former commander of the facility at the heart of decades of UFO conspiracy theories. Interstellar writes, the man in charge of Roswell at Wright-Patterson goes missing. With President Trump ready to sign an executive order to declassify all the UAP files, this seems very suspicious. Now, you can take a look here. This is the email that was sent from Tom DeLonge to John Podesta. He mentioned he's a skeptic. He's not. I've been working with him for 4 months. Just got done giving him a 4-hour presentation, the entire project, a few weeks ago. Trust me, the advice has already been happening on how to do all this. He just has to say it out loud. But he's aware, as he was in charge of all the stuff, when Roswell crashed, they shipped it all to the laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. General McCasland was in charge of that exact laboratory up to a couple years ago. He not only knows what I'm trying to achieve, he helped assemble my advisory team. He's a very important man. Tom DeLonge writing that message to John Podesta, of all people. Interesting names surfacing here, and the timing could not be more suspicious as Trump reportedly prepares major UFO disclosures. A key figure with potential knowledge of the programs disappears. Here's Representative Burchett. He says if Trump discloses the classified UFO photos and videos, we are one grain of sand.
The classic UFO is the saucer shaped and there's something on top. I've never seen anything. I've not seen any. Well, I take that back. I've seen things, but that's since I've been in Congress and I'm not allowed to discuss this. I would just hope that the president would disclose everything that I've seen in every skiff I've been in every confidential conversation, every picture I've seen, every video I've seen. I wish that he would release all those.
Would that change the world? I mean, would that change people?
No, I don't think so. I think we just realize that we're one grain of sand in 100 million beaches. And I mean, if you think we're the best that God can do, I think you greatly underestimate God.
Well, we are created in God's image, but McCasland has vanished. Trump's own allies are talking about the explosive UFO revelations that the president has access to. Back in September 2025, Stephen Greer said Donald Trump would be forced to confront the UFO issue whether he wanted to or not. Listen.
We're at a key turning point. We're going to have to choose. And you know, one of the president's friends told me that he really wasn't wanting to take this on right now. And I said, well, he's not going to have a choice. You know, as I see it, there's not going to be a choice. This is going to happen on his watch, and it's going to happen well before in 2028. This is only 2025. And like it or not, this is all going to come out, and it has to be managed properly.
Has to be managed properly. Just as somebody has disappeared. This prediction from September looking prophetic. Trump may be indeed forced to confront disclosure whether he wants to or not. Check this out. Lara Trump drops a blockbuster, says Trump has a speech ready to tell the world the truth about extraterrestrials.
You think that he's about to make an announcement about UFOs? Because President Obama was just on a podcast talking about how he believes in UFOs and hinting that he saw something when he was president.
Well, I said this in my podcast too. What's funny is we've kind of asked my father-in-law about this because we're like, well, what do you know? Because Miranda, we all want to know about the UFOs, or we all want to know what's going on. And he played a little coy with us. And so that, of course, led us to believe, Eric and I were like, oh my gosh, if he won't even like fully tell us, maybe there's more to it. And then I have just heard kind of around that, I think he's actually said, I think my father-in-law's actually said it, that there is some speech that he has that I guess at the right time, and I don't know when the right time is, he's going to break out and talk about, and it has to do with maybe some sort of extraterrestrial life, so to speak.
The speech has been prepared. It's not speculation anymore. President Trump's own daughter-in-law confirming he has a speech prepared about extraterrestrials ready to go. And here's President Trump, even on Fox News, admitting the existence of spherical UFOs.
and they were in the Oval Office, 3 or 4 pilots. These are not people that make up stories. They said, all I know, sir, is there was a round object that was going 4 times faster than my F-22, which is a very fast plane. And it wasn't, it shouldn't have been. It was round, sir. They have seen, 4 or 5 guys I've interviewed, solid people, great pilots for the U.S. Air Force, etc. They've seen things that they cannot explain.
There's President Trump's own words discussing disclosure in the Oval Office. Trump isn't just preparing to talk about UFOs, he's already acknowledging their existence publicly. Whoa, horsey, asks Ashton Forbes, where is this guy? U.S. Air Force Major General William Neil McCasland, 68, who was last seen February 27, 2026, around 11 a.m. near Quail Run Court, Northeast in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's 3 scientists in 3 months, and look what he was up to. Served as commander of the Air Force Research Laboratory, Wright-Patterson, where he managed a massive $2.2 billion science and tech portfolio, plus another $2.2 billion in externally funded R&D. The AFRL focuses on cutting-edge military tech, including directed energy weapons, advanced propulsion, aerospace systems, space tech, and other classified special access programs. So the disappearance, clearly part of a disturbing pattern. 3 scientists gone missing in 3 months, all connected to sensitive research. He was responsible for managing the Air Force $2.2 billion science and tech program at Wright-Patterson. Check this out.
Major General Neil McCasland, who is the former head of the Foreign Technology Back Engineering Laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. This is whom I suspect was the general that Tom met with at an airport and who collected Tom his advisors. Major General McCasland is responsible for managing the Air Force's $2.2 billion science and technology program. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, the base where General McCasland oversaw, has a long history with the UFO phenomena, being the place that the infamous Project Blue Book was based out of, and where all of the Project Blue Book files are located. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is also the place where the Army officially reported they took the crashed UFO wreckage from Roswell, New Mexico, before redacting their story and claiming it was a new weather balloon.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
This leaked information provided much credibility to Tom's claims of working with government insiders towards UFO disclosure. These are not random government employees, but some of the highest-ranking government officials who of all people would have knowledge of UFOs. I recommend everyone reads these emails themselves. They can be found at wikileaks.org by searching DeLong. Tom would take advice from his advisors, who instructed him on the UFO matters for his fiction and non-fiction books.
And we read to you some of those very emails. The Bernalillo County has issued a silver alert for retired Major General William Neil McCasland, longtime leader at Kirkland and former commander of the Phillips Research Site at Air Force Research Lab. He was last seen Friday morning near Quail Run Court, Northeast. The stakes become clear when you realize he wasn't just any general. He controlled billions in advanced technology programs and the most UFO-connected base in America. So Ashton Forbes, diving deep into the missing Major General, he writes, not sure people realize the significance of his work. He worked on quantum technologies utilizing the Aronoff-Bohm effect, better models for satellite orbits, and directed energy weapons in 2001. Let's listen to Ashton's own dive.
William McCasland, retired general who led the Air Force Research Laboratory, goes missing. Lieutenant General, he's Major General. I wrote the wrong thing. He's Major General William McCasland, served as the commander of the Air Force Research Labs from 2011 to 2013. Holy crap. He was working in the Air Force Research Labs as the #1 guy, commander of the Air Force Research Labs from 2011 to 2013, right before MH370. Holy shit. Yeah, this guy probably knows about the orbs. This guy almost certainly knows about the orbs and the wormhole technology. Overseeing $4 billion in science and technology portfolio with research in aeronautics, advanced materials, propulsion systems, sensors, space systems, directed energy, and human performance. And then he had a job before that, but and he says he served as the system program director for the Space-Based Laser Project Office from 2000 to 2001. What? So, wait a minute. This guy was like the commander of the Space-Based Laser Program in 2000, 25 years ago, and now we're finding out, like today, that directed energy weapons are real. And that's like what this guy's focus was. Wow. This is crazy. This is somebody the United States government should be keeping track of, because if they go missing, there's a decent chance that China or Russia just picked them up and black bagged them. And then quantum technologies, satellite altitude control in his thesis involves electromagnetic interactions like the Aharonov boom effect. We dancing. Whoop. Holy shit. Find this man, chat. Find this man. If this shit turns out that this dude was kidnapped by Russia or China, you heard it here first, chat. Nobody told you what this dude was looking into. This dude's scientific papers literally says the Aharonov boom effect. That's talking about electromagnetic potentials. This means he absolutely understood the idea of the ether, and that the potentials are the real thing, not the forces, the potentials. Even if it turns out that this guy just has dementia and he just wandered off randomly, and it just so happens that our super secret Air Force Research Lab commander that knows about all the secret technology just wandered off into the forest, even if that's the case, which let's just say I'm open to but skeptical, there's no way this dude should be having dementia and not be having like 24/7 surveillance on this guy. You're telling me I might be able to wander up and find this guy and get him to start telling me about our wormhole technology because dude's got dementia and he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know who I am.
Certainly is a possibility. But the pattern is undeniable. President Trump admits pilots briefed him on spherical UFOs outrunning F-22s. Lara Trump confirms a disclosure speech exists. Congressman Burchett begs the president to release the classified photos and videos, and suddenly the one general who knows where the bodies are buried, who ran the laboratory at the center of 75 years of UFO secrecy, just disappears. The deep state has operated in shadows for decades, hoarding technology, lying to the American people, and eliminating threats to their power. But they didn't count on Donald Trump. They didn't count on an America First president who made promises and keeps them. The walls are closing in on the biggest cover-up in human history. And the truth is coming, whether the deep state likes it or not. President Trump has the speech ready. He has the classified evidence, and now the whole world is watching as a key general vanishes under the most suspicious circumstances imaginable. They can silence individuals, but they can't silence the American people demanding answers. So share this video right now with everybody you know. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe General McCasland's disappearance is connected to Trump's upcoming UFO disclosure? Yes or no? And make sure you subscribe, you hit the bell so you never miss these stories the mainstream media buries. And if you want to show your support for real journalism that actually investigates, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. The establishment wants you asleep. We want you informed and fighting. So stay informed, stay free. I'm Gary Franchi. You're watching the Next News Network.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.